Hey guys, what is up? Plastic Guy here, coming back with another Spider-Man movie figure review, where today I'm so happy to finally be saying we're taking a closer look at the Magnetic Spider-Man figure. The Magnetic Spider-Man figure is the last ToyBiz Spider-Man movie figure that I really wanted to add to my collection. Recently, I made a video where I took a look at every Raimi Spider-Man figure that I have, or like 99% of them, and in that video, the Magnetic Spider-Man was missing. The Magnetic Spider-Man is a figure that I've always really wanted, but it's been so hard to get a hold of. No one wants to give up their Magnetic Spider-Man, and when they do, they want a lot of money for it. Before No Way Home, I saw these figures sell for £40 to £50, and I never really wanted to spend that much money back then. And then since No Way Home, they've been selling for about £80. I've seen at least two sell for around 80 on eBay in the last couple months. And then my luck changed the other day when someone listed this guy for £30. I think £30 is an alright price. £30 is the maximum I really want to spend for these figures. I don't normally spend that much, but with it being the Magnetic Spidey, yeah, 30 was worth it for me. The other reason I really wanted to pick this guy up is because there's no doubt that Hasbro is going to make some new Tobey Maguire Spider-Man figures since No Way Home, and I believe they will probably come out this year. I mean, fingers crossed they do, and I hope they're excellent figures. I hope that they are better than any Toy Biz figure, but I don't think Hasbro is going to make a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man with magnetic hands. They've never given us magnetic hands before, and I don't really see any rumours or anything that will be the case this time. So I feel like this figure's still really going to hold his own when Hasbro do eventually release their newer Tobey Maguire figures. So I've finally got him in hand. We're finally going to take a closer look at him, but before we do, guys, let me know down in the comments section below what Toy Biz figure I should keep my eye out for next. It doesn't have to be Spider-Man, it can be Fantastic Four, anything like that. Is there any Toy Biz figures that you had as a kid that you really want to get in your collection? Just let me know down in the comments section what your favourite Toy Biz figures are, and if there's any that I should really be keeping my eye out for. And while you're down there, guys, if you could do me a massive favour, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And let's not wait any longer. Let's take a closer look at Magnetic Spider-Man. And so here is our Toy Biz Spider-Man Magnetic movie figure as he's arrived from eBay, and for the most part this figure is in great condition. However, there are a couple things that I want to point out at the start of this video that the figure's suffering from a wee bit. The first one is something that I noticed straight away, and his leg's a bit warped. This leg here is completely straight, it's natural looking, and then this one goes ski whiff, yeah. Not a massive deal, it's not a deal breaker, he can still stand up straight, still going to be able to get him into those poses, but yeah, you can see it is warped. If you have any tips for unwarping the figure, please let me know down in the comment section below and I might give it a try. But yeah, just something that I thought was worth pointing out. The next issue with the figure was listed in the item description, and I'm not too bothered about it. It isn't something that is a great deal to me. I can see it being a deal breaker for others, but I feel like it's justified in the price, especially at the moment with this figure selling for like £80 to £90. He's missing one of the magnets in his foot, and yeah, if it was a magnet missing from the hand, I would be a bit bummed out, but just one magnet missing from one of the feet, yeah, not a massive deal for me. I'm fine with that, and of course, I could replace it at some point as well. Magnets aren't hard to get a hold of, and I'm sure I can find one the perfect size to fill that hole in his foot in with. So yeah, those are the two problems with the figure, but as I said, for the most part, this figure looks great. A lot of the time with these Toy Biz Spider-Man figures, with them being nearly 20 years old, you'll get a lot of paint rubbing, a lot of that silver webbing missing, most of the time at the top of the head, and I feel like this has held up pretty well. We can see that the silver is on most of those lines. It has faded on the head a wee bit, but yeah, I mean the paint around the eyes and everything is still held up really well. As I said, this figure is nearly 20 years old, so I would say this is in good condition. We can see the chest here, once again, all the webbing looks pretty solid. The Spidey logo is really solid, really nice black on that. And then all the texturing that we're used to on these Toy Biz Spider-Man movie figures is on this figure here. Cannot complain, I really like the black textured parts of this suit. Silver webbings held up in the waistband here. This figure is really similar to some others that I'm going to compare in a couple seconds time, and we can see where I will end up ranking him in my collection. But he does have the new parts as well, including these hands. He's got these wide open hands, and they have the magnets on the other side. I don't know if the person I bought this from has glued these after the fact. Maybe they've fallen out before, because the glue does look a bit sloppy, but you know, no big deal. Or as I said as well, it is an old figure. Maybe it is the original glue, who knows. But the webbing's really held up on those fingers, and that looks great. I do really like just the aesthetic look of this Spider-Man overall. Really similar to the Web Trap. And the Web Trap is one of my favourite Spider-Man movie figures, so naturally I'm going to like the look of this guy. And speaking of, yeah, let's just get him next to some other of the Spider-Man movie figures. And so here is our Magnetic Spidey next to the Web Trap Spider-Man. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it does look like this is mostly the same sculpt, and that they've just swapped the hands around. The articulation and sculpt look pretty much identical, so I do feel like they have probably just used the same sculpt, swapped the hands around, and you know, I'm fine with that because I love this look of Spider-Man, and I know a lot of other people do. A lot of people regard the Web Trap as their all-time favourite. Of course, personal preference is going to come in. Everyone has loads of different favourites. The Web Trap's definitely up there for me, and so I'm happy that the Magnetic has borrowed a lot of these parts. And here is our Magnetic Spider-Man standing next to the Scooter Spider-Man and the superposable ToyBiz Spider-Man, and this is the one with the magnets on the feet. I thought that'd be the best one to compare to our Magnetic Spider-Man in the middle. And yeah, the Scooter Spider-Man is definitely still my number one spot. I think aesthetically it looks the best, articulation's great, and of course it does come with that alternative Peter Parker head. I don't know where I'm going to rank this Magnetic Spidey. I did try and rank all my Spider-Man figures recently in a video, so feel free to go and check that out. Scooter Spider-Man was 1. I can't remember where I put the superposable, but seeing the 3 here, I do think I maybe do prefer Magnetic Spider-Man over the superposable. I don't know, I'm constantly changing my mind when it comes to these figures. But yeah, as of this video, I'm going to say Magnetic Spider-Man is a bit better looking than the superposable. So I'm going to try and cover all the articulation on this figure here. We can get his head looking really far up. I mean, that's great. That's what you want to see from a Spider-Man figure. That head being able to move all the way up, so when he's wall crawling, he can look all the way down as well, left and right. Yeah, just the usual there. We can get his arm moving about that far up, which is great. Let's see, back in at the body. And I did want to point out actually that the joints on this figure for the most part are really still nice and stiff. The only loose one here is that ab crunch. Yeah, it's a bit loose. Back to the arm, we can get an upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows here. We can move the wrist backwards and forwards, and we can move around at the forearm as well. Same articulation in this arm. We've got that ab crunch that I mentioned earlier. We can rotate it at the waist here. Get the leg kicking about that far forward, about that far back, that far out the way. Double jointed knees. He's got an upper thigh swivel. Can't remember if I just said that or not. We can move it around at the calf area, move the feet backwards and forwards, and it does pivot a wee bit. With the age of the figure, I don't want to force it too much and accidentally break it or anything. And so there we have it for this Magnetic ToyBiz Spider-Man 2 movie figure, and I absolutely love it. I feel like my collection is definitely complete now, having this guy in it. I've been wanting him for the longest time, and I definitely feel like my expectations have been met. Aesthetically, I think he looks great. He's very similar to the Web Trap, which was already one of my favourite Raimi movie figures. But this figure has that added fun factor with the magnetic feet and hands. I know I've not really shown that off too well in this video. I've not shown it off at all. I didn't know the best way to do that. However, I will try and get some photos up on my Instagram where he can be stuck to various magnetic things that I can find, who knows. The articulation is great, the paint's held up really well, and he just overall looks a really nice piece, and he's a really fun piece. Once again, as I said at the start of the video, I feel like if Hasbro were to release a new Raimi movie figure, he's not going to have magnetic hands, and I don't really know what's going to happen to the other ToyBiz Raimi movie figures. I don't know if that value or the want that these collectors have for these pieces will still be there when Hasbro do eventually re-release a new Tobey Maguire Marvel Legends figure. But the fact that this one does have the magnetic hands and the magnetic feet, I do think it is a bit unique. It is a bit of an individual piece that isn't really going to die out because we're not going to be given a modern alternative for it. Who knows, maybe we will, but that's my thoughts at the moment. So yeah, I'm really happy to finally get this guy. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. While you're down there guys, if you could do me a massive favour, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And thank you so much for watching this video right here. I'll leave the link to my Instagram down in the description below, so feel free to check that out. And feel free to hop on over to the channel page as well, as there are plenty of Raimi movie figure videos up on there. Once again, thank you for watching this video. As always, I'll catch yous on the flip-flop later. Cheers.